My name is Emily. I am a 21-year-old woman who loves baking. Ever since I can remember, I've had a sweet tooth, often asking my baking-influenced mom to make me loads of treats. Influenced by her, I got hooked on baking in middle school and dreamed of becoming a pastry chef someday. However, during high school I suffered from unexplained health issues and had to repeatedly go in and out of the hospital, leading to my dropping out. I stepped away from baking to focus on treatment. At 19, after completing treatment and feeling healthy, I returned home and resumed baking as a hobby, a kind of rehabilitation, before rejoining society. Now, I am enjoying every day, working part-time and sharing photos of my creations on my blog and social media. One day, while baking as usual, I received a call from my mom's workplace. She had suddenly collapsed. Rushing to the hospital, I found her conscious. The doctor said she had collapsed from exhaustion. As a precaution, she was admitted to the hospital for tests to check for any other abnormalities. Later, it was revealed she had cerebrovascular disease. Discussing this with my mom and dad, we decided to proceed with the surgery. During our talk, my mom mentioned noticing symptoms a while back, but avoided the hospital, not wanting to worry us. She had always cared for me during my health struggles, likely contributing to her own health decline. Financial struggles, intensified by my medical bills, had also kept her from seeking care earlier. Feeling responsible, I decided to cover all her medical expenses. Despite my dad saying I didn't have to, I insisted. I was no longer a child. I was young and healthy, and I wanted to repay the kindness she had shown me. So, I took on the cost of her hospital stay, surgery, treatment, and rehabilitation. After that, I went home and checked my bank book. I calculated the hospital expenses for my mom and other costs, remembering that I also needed some money for myself. I decided to withdraw all of it together. When I added up everything, it turned out to be a considerable sum. So before withdrawing, I thought I'd better inform the bank. I took out my smartphone and called the bank listed in my book. A male bank employee answered the call.
Hello, Saltville Bank.
Oh, sorry. My name is Emily. I need to withdraw $20,000 from my deposit account. I'll visit later. Could you have the cash ready? From my deposit account, I'll visit later. Could you have the cash ready? Oh, sorry. I need to withdraw $20,000 from my deposit account. I'll visit later. Could you have the cash ready?
There was a bit of surprise in the banker's voice as he responded, "Ah, $20,000? I felt a bit anxious, but confirmed, yes. After a pause, he spoke in an almost exasperated tone, as if to say, "Oh, all right. Okay."
What's with this guy?
I was puzzled by his reaction, but tried to explain the purpose.
It's for my mom's hospital bills, and also...
Before I could finish, he interrupted. Yeah, got it. We'll have it ready. Come by later." And then he hung up abruptly. I was taken aback by the phone etiquette.
What just happened?
Despite a bad feeling, it seemed like they would prepare the money. So I decided to go and withdraw it as planned. 3 days later, I went to the bank. I took a number and waited until my number was called. Approaching the counter, I saw the male bank employee smiling, but as soon as he saw my face and outfit, his expression changed, showing obvious displeasure. Feeling uncomfortable, I heard him ask in a tone hardly suitable for customer service, "So what do you need?" While squinting his eyes lazily,
I'm Emily, the one who called the other day. I came to withdraw $20,000.
I said to the bank employee. He stared at me for a moment and replied with a lack of enthusiasm, "Oh, right."
Between that phone call and this guy, what's up with this bank? What's up with this bank?
I kept my cool despite feeling a bit irritated.
I called earlier to have the $20,000 prepared for withdrawal, as I was told.
The banker pointed towards a chair with a smirk and said, "We'll prepare it now. Please wait over there." The exchange was surprisingly brief. Normally, there would be some procedures like identity verification when withdrawing a large sum at the counter. There was none of that. Just a quick confirmation.
Is it really okay to be this casual about it?
I wondered, feeling uneasy again as I quietly waited for my name to be called. Resolved to leave as soon as I got the money. An hour passed. My name still hadn't been called.
Does it usually take this long, or are they just busy?
Looking around, there weren't many customers. And the bank itself wasn't very large, so there weren't many employees either. It didn't seem particularly busy, but that was just my impression. Maybe they were swamped behind the scenes. The male banker, who had been at the counter earlier, was still there, doing some work and attending to customers. I sighed and continued to wait. Another hour went by. The number of customers had clearly decreased, and the staff seemed to be taking breaks gradually. Yet my name was still not called. Growing anxious, I looked for the male banker. He had left the counter a few minutes earlier and was nowhere to be seen.
Did he just go home?
Just then, he re-entered the bank, appearing quite cheerful, perhaps after a meal break. As he passed by, I decided to speak up.
Excuse me, I'm Emily, the one you helped at the counter earlier. Is the $20,000 cash ready?
What? Oh,
His cheerful demeanor instantly soured as he coldly brushed me off. We're still preparing it. Please wait a little longer.
Okay, understood.
Sitting back down quietly, as the banker walked away, scratching his head, he muttered something completely unprofessional under his breath.
geez, poor people should just wait quietly.
I was shocked by his words.
What?
I asked, thinking I had misheard, but he ignored me and walked away.
Did he just call me poor and tell me to wait quietly?
The phone call from the other day and now, this banker's attitude and words were all unbelievable. I was getting close to losing my temper. I wanted to go home before that happened. But first, I needed to collect my money. I continued to wait, and another 2 hours passed. The bank's closing time had arrived. As I sat there quietly, not yet having left, the same male banker approached me coldly. "Customer, we're closing now." As I sat there quietly, not yet having left, the same male banker approached me coldly. "Customer, we're closing now. Please leave."
But I've been waiting here for 4 hours for the money to be ready.
His reply stunned me.
What? You're still waiting? We haven't prepared anything.
What? They didn't prepare it.
I exclaimed in disbelief. The past 4 hours felt like a complete waste. My anger erupted.
What do you mean you haven't prepared for it? I told you, didn't I, that I wanted to withdraw $20,000. That's why I've been waiting here for 4 hours. I mentioned this on the phone to your bank employee.
Oh, that call. It was me. You answered it.
What? I was surprised. Now that he mentioned it, the voice and attitude did match. But I had never imagined it was the same person.
If so, he should have known about the phone call and could have prepared in advance.
Then why didn't you prepare it in advance? You're the one who said on the phone, "We'll prepare it, come by later."
Well, I thought it was a prank or a scam. Your voice sounded too young for such an amount. Come on, you're young. If a kid asks for $20,000, you'd think it's a joke, right? Being a banker, you become sensitive to these things.
He shrugged off my question with a laugh. His attitude and words infuriated me. I didn't ask for a handout. I said I wanted to withdraw. You're impossible to talk to. Get your supervisor here, please. His response was smug. Well, the branch manager and department head are both not here right now. So, the highest authority here is me, unfortunately. John, the acting branch manager. This person who had been rude on the phone and at the counter, who made me wait for hours, and then insulted me, saying poor people should just wait. This guy is the acting branch manager?
John, you're the acting branch manager, right? Why would you treat a customer like me this way, making me wait and then turning me away, and your attitude and insults? I'm not saying the customer is always right, but this is too much.
He pointed at me, sneering, "Come on, you're obviously poor. Look at your clothes, they're all tattered."
Tattered clothes? How rude. Sure, I didn't dress up since I was only going to the bank, and my clothes might have a small tear, but they're not that bad.
To be honest, I've always been a bit careless about my appearance. I'm meticulous when it comes to baking, measuring ingredients, and designing, but I'm quite casual about clothes and makeup. Trying to contain my anger, I listened as John continued.
Besides, you look too young. No way a person your age has $20,000, and you're the same person who called. I thought it was just a prank, so I figured I'd teach you a lesson. You've learned your lesson, right? Now go home. We're busy here.
John crossed his arms in irritation.
It's not a lie, I do have $20,000. Please check my account.
I showed him my bank book, but John dismissed it. Enough. Go home, kid, and that bank book is probably just a toy. If you really had $20,000, you'd be working hard and taking care of your parents. Leave now, or I'll call the police.
It's true.
Frustrated with John's disbelief, I decided to disclose my entire fortune in my bank account. I didn't want to say it out loud because of the amount, but I thought maybe the sheer size of it would jog someone's memory.
It's not just $20,000. I have $300 million.
What? 300 million? Nice joke. If you had that much, you could live comfortably without a care.
It's true. I've deposited $300 million in this bank.
Yeah. You must feel so good now, bragging about it. Now go home. Stop lying and bothering us at work.
My idea had failed. Sure, this bank must have many clients with millions in their accounts. I thought they'd be aware of such large deposits since they often call about insurance and other sales. Then, John tried to possibly remove me from the bank. Feeling helpless and at my limit, I finally snapped.
Fine, I understand. I won't come here again, nor will I use your services, and I will withdraw the $300 million I've deposited. Fine, I understand. I won't come here again, nor will I use your services. I will withdraw the $300 million I deposited here and transfer it to another bank.
Laughing, John said, "Go ahead, try it. I'll be waiting to see that." He then pushed me out and locked the bank doors.
Just watch. I won't let this go.
Determined, I went back to the bank later to transfer my $300 million. Fortunately, John wasn't there. I approached the counter where a smiling female banker was waiting. "I'd like to transfer all my funds to another bank," I said. The banker started checking my account. Her smile faded instantly. "Please wait a moment," she said in a panic, rushing to the back room.
Hey, you're back to joking around? Apparently back from his break. Reeking of garlic. Back for more pranks? Just go home. I'll leave, but only after transferring my $300 million.
As I brushed off John's attitude coldly, he burst into raucous laughter again.
Still going on about that, huh? Stop lying. A poor person like you with $300 million.
Miss Emily, what's happening here?
His mocking words were cut short as a man came rushing from the back of the bank.
Branch manager, you're back?
John's arrogant demeanor instantly changed and he began to bow deeply.
I just got back from the main office. I came to check if everything was all right in my absence.
The branch manager had just returned from a trip and had been resting in the back room.
More importantly, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm the branch manager here, Michael. Thank you for your patronage.
Michael bowed deeply in front of me. John looked utterly bewildered.
Michael, please raise your head. What brings you here?
I asked, slightly taken aback. Michael, still bowing low, said, "I heard you wanted to withdraw the entire amount of $300 million and transfer it to another bank." Then John looked at me in shock.
Why would you want to do that? Was there any inconvenience caused by our bank?
Yikes.
John's face turned sour.
Actually, Michael, the other day.
No, branch manager, nothing happened.
John interrupted, sweating profusely, trying to stop me from speaking, determined not to let me speak. Before I could retort, Michael scolded John. "John! How dare you interrupt a customer?" With John shrinking back, I told Michael everything that had happened. By the time I finished, John was pale and sweating profusely. Hearing my story, Michael exploded in anger. "John, how could you treat a customer like this?" John, still in denial, insisted, "I didn't do it. She's making it all up."
Emily wouldn't lie. Besides, we have security cameras. If you keep denying, we'll have to check the footage.
Oh no.
Realizing the presence of security cameras, our argument had unfolded in the bank just before closing time, so it was probably all caught on camera. John became desperate. "Damn it! Why do I have to suffer because of her? She comes in dressed like that, so young. I thought it was a scam." Also said, "Normally if you have that much money you'd wear more expensive clothes. You're making things complicated."
He's blaming me for dressing poorly. And being young.
I wanted to retort, but remained silent as John had virtually admitted his guilt.
Furious said, "Don't call Emily her." Do you even know who she is?
What?
This lady is a popular sweets designer and blogger known as Real Sweet.
What?
Being called a sweets designer feels a bit exaggerated, but in reality, I am actively blogging about baking. I started this after finishing my treatment for an illness. What began as a rehabilitation activity turned into something more when the sweets I designed during my hospital stay went viral on my blog and social media. Since then, the sweets I make have been getting more and more attention, and my followers have surpassed 7 digits. Thanks to this, I've been featured on TV, written in recipe books, and earned income through blog and video advertising. The part-time job I mentioned earlier was actually stock investments, which also turned out to be very successful. So, at the young age of 21, I was in possession of $300 million.
Real sweet? I'm a huge fan.
John, realizing who I was, broke down in tears. I was broke down in tears. He was a fan. Unbelievable. Since I blogged under Real Sweet and never revealed my real name or face, he must not have recognized me. It's a shame losing a fan over something like this. John, realizing who I was, broke down in tears. He was a fan. Unbelievable. Since I blogged under Real Sweet and never revealed my real name or face, he must not have recognized me. It's a shame losing a fan over something like this.
What are you talking about? All of this was explained to you when you were appointed as the acting branch manager. Moreover, Emily is a highly valued customer of Saltville Bank. She's also the daughter of a friend of our bank's president, Saltville. Didn't I explain that? You didn't forget, did you? What are you talking about? All of this was explained to you when you were appointed as the acting branch manager. Moreover, Emily is a highly valued customer of Saltville Bank. Didn't I explain that? You didn't forget, did you?
What?
John looked utterly shocked, hearing this for the first time. Yes, my father has been a long-time friend of Saltville, the head of this bank. I don't remember, but as a child, I apparently played with Saltville's children. When I was repeatedly hospitalized, Saltville was the first to lend us money. That's why I kept a large sum in this bank. I didn't know I was such a valued customer, but it's strange John didn't know.
I'm so sorry.
A poor little child, was it?
I'm terribly sorry.
John turned even paler and began to prostrate himself on the floor.
Maybe that was a bit mean, but I think a little payback is okay, right? After all the trouble he caused me.
Emily, I'm so sorry for this ordeal. John, bow lower. Apologize more sincerely.
I deeply apologize.
Apologize more. And you still reek of garlic. How many times have I told you not to eat strong-smelling food during work? You're making our customers uncomfortable.
I'm sorry.
After that, I canceled the transfer of the $300 million. I finally withdrew the $20,000 I needed and successfully paid for my mother's hospital expenses. As for John, word of the incident reached Saltville, and he was severely reprimanded. The security cameras in the bank had recorded everything, and further investigation revealed that John had been treating other customers similarly. There had been complaints, but John had threatened other bank employees to keep quiet. Because of his misdeeds, John was naturally demoted from acting branch manager. John was demoted from acting branch manager to a regular employee and sent to the main office for rigorous retraining with new recruits. As for my mother, she successfully underwent surgery and is now energetically focusing on her rehabilitation. I continue to be a blogger and spend my days immersed in baking. Today I'm creating a special treat for my mother's next visit to the hospital.
I can already imagine her happy face. I can't wait.
With these thoughts, I kept on whipping the cream for my creation.